My boy. Hey, man, what's going on? It's Dad, man, the big DAD, Trinidad James, man. You're jumping off the porch. You know, I'm off the porch with it. Dirty Glove Bastard, man. Home team, family. You know what time it is, man. Let's keep it going for another 200 years.
What's the manufacturer? On that baby maker must be from Virginia Beach. She a rump shaker, make a brother double dutch.
Hey.
All right, y'all. We got a special one coming to y'all today.
Hey.
We got my boy Trinidad James jumping off the porch with us today. What's up, bro?
Man, what's up, man?
Man.
Everything, man. I done made it to the porch.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Made it to the
sir.
porch, bro. For real, man. It's been a long time coming, bro.
Yes,
you know,
sir.
we've been rocking with each other forever.
Yes,
you know
sir.
what I mean?
13 years.
Yeah, man, for real. And so it's definitely a pleasure having you pull up on us and jump off the porch with us, man.
Come on, man. It's a blessing. It's an honor, man. I'm, proud of you, proud of what y'all have built, what y'all stand for in the city of Atlanta. And, I tell you this off top, keep going. Like, if it ever feel like, am I still impactful? Man, it matters.
Word. Nah, I appreciate that, bro. And same sentiments to you, bro, because you've been doing this for so long and have had doubters ever since you started.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which, I feel like goes right into your new single, My Biggest Hater, that you just dropped.
You see, I got the merch on. Yeah, it's a blessing to, first of all, this is year 13 for me, man. So to be making music that's so fun and lyrics that just jump out at you and feel like the Trinidad that I want to be and present 13 years later, it's amazing and it's a blessing, and I'm thankful to the man upstairs for having grace with me to still give me energy and give me frequencies and lyrics that make people feel a type of way, make me feel like I'm doing my job.
Nah, for sure. And for someone who, people wanted to label you early on as a one-hit wonder, and to be sitting here 13 years later, still being relevant in the game, heavily relevant, not just, not just moving along with it, but, continuously having an impact through your whole career. How does that feel to to almost let the haters down?
It's interesting. Like, I must tell the haters thank you, because if I didn't have some type of motivation, I think the worst thing that could ever happen to a creative or entrepreneur is nobody showing no emotion towards what you're doing. If you have no emotion towards the thing that you're passionate about, it will kill it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But the haters allow me to know, because you don't really hate me. So that means that, it's a misconception. Yeah. Oh, I could change a wrong idea, you know what I'm saying, to the person that's willing to listen to the right idea.
Absolutely.
But if you have no feeling towards what I'm doing, I'm cooked, and so I'm happy that I've always had enough haters and enough cult following to always feel valuable. I think it's about being valuable. If you can stay valuable, you can have longevity. And that's not just in music, that's in anything that deals with creativity or entrepreneurship.
Absolutely. And I feel like the most impactful art, the most impactful brands, entrepreneurs, etc., they evoke both types of emotions, that love and that hate, equally.
Hey man, you got artists like, I'll use Elvis stealing ass. You know what I'm saying? It's like his management team, back in the day, they made the I Love Elvis t-shirts and pins, and they also made the I Hate Elvis t-shirts and pins.
Yeah.
It's like you have to, real artists come with opinion, and that opinion is not always going to be the one that you want to hear, but you need it so that your name can keep on bubbling in the right direction, because a wrong idea can always be changed, with the right interview, the right song. You know what I'm saying? You meet me in person, well, anything you feel about me goes out the door.
Yeah. Nah, for sure. And we know, Trinidad James as, being this, just doing things your own way, being non-traditional, in the way that you've moved with your brand.
Yeah.
But was a young Trinidad, were you always, thinking differently and moving different? Like, what were you like, when you were younger?
Yeah, I think it's the same, man. What you see now is just a more developed version of just who I've been over the years. You look at me as a had a young, like a before you turn, whatever that is they call it before you turn a teenager.
Adolescence.
Yeah, adolescent, that's what I thought. You know, as a young adolescent, you know, I always had my own little style, and I always had value to the people who I called like my circle. However, it's like, oh no, we rock with you. However, something about you that's cool. We know you're not from here. However, I was born in Trinidad, you know what I'm saying? But we rock with you. And then as I turned into a teenager, like my style started evolving, and it wasn't like other people. Like I seen what everybody else is doing, but that's not what I was really locked in on. And it's always been some version of me doing something different, me doing something first in the hood. I was like, bro, what you doing?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, where we're at now in life, when I think of everything that people have maybe, you know, what is it called, casticized or castrated me for, or, you know, throw stones at, is the things that like they welcome and do way more than me even,
Yeah,
you know?
no, for sure. And being born in Trinidad, I know you came to the U.S. as an immigrant.
Right.
Do you remember any of your life as a kid in Trinidad? Like, do you remember any of that?
Man, I wish I did, man. I only remember my first friend, and this Indian kid, I can't even remember his name, but I had a bad head injury when I was a child, so I lost all my childhood memories. So I don't really know him. Then the Trinidad childhood memories, because that's where the injury happened. My memory goes only back to elementary school here in Atlanta. Had like a mini S. Howell. I have versions of things of like, oh, I've lived in Jacksonville, I lived in New York, I lived in Canada, like little spurts of it, but you know, maybe I need to talk to Elon to, you know, put something inside my brain so I can get my memory back. You know?
No, I can dig it. And so when your family did move to the U.S., Atlanta wasn't the first stop, is that correct?
It was Jacksonville, Florida. So, you know, I always got a love for Jacksonville. I had some Jacksonville Jaguars drip on the other day, and I was making it look damn good, but, you know, people don't understand. It's like, man, shit, my little sister, she from Jacksonville. That's when my daddy had her. You know, my daddy, you know, he a Rolling Stone, so you know, when he left Trinidad first and came to America without us. And then when he got right, he sent for us, and then we came. You know, and boom, that's what we was on. Came to Jacksonville, Florida, I was a kid. And then we went to New York. Okay. Stayed with my aunts and uncles. Or stayed with my uncle and aunt. There was you know, rest his soul. My pops was figuring it out at the time, and then when he figured it out, because my pops has always been a solution-based type of person, a hard worker, hardest worker I know. Then we came down to Atlanta, because my pops was on his feet, and Atlanta is kind of like what molded me. And then my pops kind of found the Lord, and he moved to the Bible Belt, South Carolina. Okay. And so boom, you know, middle school, really high school, I'm going back and forth between Atlanta and South Carolina for school because I'm getting into it with my parents. And once again, I'm just like, I at a really early age, I stopped subscribing to people talking at me, whether it's my parents or not, you know, just don't talk at me, you know what I'm saying, talk with me or whatever, you know, it's like, I don't know what that is, and you know, to a certain extent, it's kind of like I'm a version of both of my parents. Where it's like, you can't talk at them. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, my pop's very headstrong, my mama ain't going. And I'm very, very a combination of both. You know, it's a lot of reason inside of me, it's a lot of humility inside of me. But as soon as somebody starts talking at me, I cancel you out, or I'm a wolf at you.
Yeah, and Caribbean parents are really strict.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
Were they open to you, you know, being creative and being into the arts and things like that early?
My pops didn't get it at first. My mama always been a supporter of, you know, what I had going on. Like, she helped me start. She gave me like my first $500 to start my first clothing brand. I was selling throwback jerseys out the trunk, well, out my people's trunk. I ain't had no car. Selling fake Jordans and stuff like that. So she supported that habit early of, you know, obviously it was material things, but it was entrepreneurship. Yeah. And it was creative, you know, because I had a really good, I was building my taste early of like, ooh, I like this from American culture. I like this. This is what this should look like. And then, you know, I always kind of had a idea of how to put it on. Yeah. And people paid attention to that because just like, the clothes never wore me, I wore the clothes. You know, but what you saw was somebody that like actually is in control of their destiny to a certain extent.
Word. I remember when I went to college, I had a sneaker plug, throwback plug. I was selling product variant Jordans, and
Come on,
was
man.
the throwback
You
plug.
found a guy, like I found a guy, he had an
Yeah.
Acura Legend. I can't remember his name no more. But he had a really nice, them old 90s, or early 2000s. I think it was like a 1998 Acura
Yeah.
Legend, the square body one. How whatever, with the nice rims on it.
Oh, yeah.
How whatever. And it's like, well, you know, he had me hooked right there. It's like, oh, he moving like this. And then he was selling these amazing things out the trunk. And he actually, because I'm buying from him, and he was seeing my taste, he was like, man, you need to sell these. And I was like, all right, but how we do that? You know what I'm saying? And I was doing that, making a name for myself, and then we got robbed in South Carolina. Me and my boy John, who I played on the basketball team with, he was a little older than me. I was just selling him out the back of his trunk. You know, just being green or whatever. Some guys, you know, we told them, tried to pitch them on what we were selling, and he was like, all right, bet, meet me over here. Yeah. Oh, but we buy about 5 of them from you. I was like, oh, 5? Man, they ran down on us, like 20 people jumped out of a rape van. Huh. And yeah, it's needless to say, they took all our jerseys.
Wow.
You know? But they didn't take our money, they just took all the product.
Oh, word.
So I was like, all right,
well, shit,
I deal with that.
Yeah.
But then my boy, for me, I was just like, I was a little traumatized, but also at the same time, I was like, damn, I felt violated. But it's like, it's not like I had no gun on me or nothing like that. I was just like, they got down. My partner, he ain't never do that no more.
Word.
No more. So, you know, it showed me a lot of like, America really taught me a new version of survival, man. Mm-hmm. And, you know, not being so open to show people your value. Mm-hmm. And that's why a lot of people don't really understand me to a certain extent. And these 13 years been very interesting because what mainstream put to people is not fully all of who I am.
Gotcha.
So as mainstream is pushing all go everything, I'm still growing as a man and growing as an artist and expanding as a creative. And that's usually the disconnect in between consumer mainstream box that you're in and who you want to be when you're a real artist. And so that's what I spent, you know, most of the rest of my years focused on. You know, just finding that alignment with the 3. And I had to get rid of this mainstream stuff to really lock in of like, yeah, who's the man want to be? Because I always, you know, I got a creative agency now, and we get to work with I've worked with a lot of amazing artists over these last 5, 6, 7 years. And something I tell them all the time that, you know, I got to practice what I preach, is that the man or the woman makes the artist. The artist don't make the man or the woman.
Yeah, that's right.
As soon as you allow your persona to control your person, you become something that's incontrollable, and you're not moving in the steps that were ordained to you. And I just always remember that, man, over the years of like, I really enjoyed who Nick was before I created Trinidad. Right. Because I was already popping in my city. Like, you know, we used to run the store downtown. On top of Underground Ginza, you know, it's like, you know, now that's my store.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, I was cool in that store. Like, I was dressing Travis Porter. I'm cool with J Money, Young LA. Well, not Young LA, J Money, and a few other artists, Scream, Holiday Spins. All these people shopping with me like I'm their boy. Yeah. You know, I'm lit. Like, you know, I'm an immigrant. Like, you gotta think about it. I'm thinking like that. I'm not a rapper or anything yet. It's like these people coming to me for my drip, not just what I got in the store, but like they want to put it on. They want like, bro, I want to put it on like that. Yeah. So what is that? What them pants that you got on? What, you know? So it's one of those things where I didn't get famous to get cool. You know what I'm saying? I got into the business to take care of my family. Right. And that's always been the main focus, man.
Yeah, nah, that's what's up. At what point would you say you jumped off the porch?
I jumped off the porch like 16, 17. That's when I think my mama couldn't tell me nothing no more. Yeah. And it was just like I said, I would go on between that, getting into I'm going to South Carolina with my dad, getting into, you know, going back to, you know what I'm saying, to Atlanta with my mom. And when the last thing I per se like did for her, that was like not something that I cared to do, but I did it, was get my high school diploma at South Atlanta High School here. And she was really proud of that. I knew that would make her proud. So I did what I had to do and got my diploma. And then, man, I just hit these streets running, man, just to figure it out. You know, got some odd jobs here and there. You know, learn how to trap for my partners and them from 4 Seasons. Learn how to gamble for my partners and them in 4 Seasons. And, well, really learn how to gamble for my partners and them in 4 Seasons. Learn how to trap, just like from 4 Seasons, from Riverdale, from my first girlfriend from Detroit, however, because like she was just a hustler, man. And, you know, I just like understanding, like, you know, sometimes America puts you in a place where, man, you got to play both sides in order to keep up. And everybody do it. You know, it's just certain people get, you know, in prison for it. And, you know, I just had to learn the game, man, at a young age. And, you know, I sponged it up. I sponged it up, man. And, you know, I love hustling. I still hustle now. I be having to remind myself that I'm not in survival mode anymore because I'm just so used to it. But it's a blessing where we're at, man. And, you know, we really thrive. And 2025 has been a really awesome year so far. And I want to really bring the Plaque home for TIG, myself, everybody involved, the writers, the producers of the record, because I feel like we deserved it. And this, I feel like it's just my year. It's a renaissance year, and it's just all the full circle that's happening in my life. I know that it's conjugating something really, really special, and I just want to see it out.
Word. And they, you know, what I see from, you know, some of the most, you know, successful people is, you know, even when you've garnered a certain amount of success, still moving in a way as if you haven't, you know, reached that success, like still having that hunger, you know, because when you lose that hunger, you know, it's like,
it's cooked.
Yeah, it's cooked. What you're doing has no substance.
It's over with.
You know what I mean? And I see you, you know, running your store in there regularly. I know you guys do, what is it? The
Reflection Sundaze?
Yeah, Reflection Sundaze.
That's our mental health event. If you're ever in Atlanta on a Sunday at 7 p.m., come down to my store. Come on down to the underground, baby.
Yeah.
72 Upper Alabama Street, Atlanta, Georgia, 30303. We do a mental health event called Reflection Sundaze every Sunday. And all it is allowing entrepreneurs and creatives to understand how to communicate their feelings so that they can be a better business person, a better creative, a better entrepreneur. That's usually the disconnect between the next level for somebody, your communication skills.
Yeah, absolutely. And I see that as being like such a dope platform for people to network and connect.
For sure.
And, you know,
sure.
and it's just an open forum.
Yeah, people love it. And it's nobody that came was like, ooh, I don't like that. The only thing that you cannot like about it is like, oh, your feelings coming out, you getting to hear them out loud. You getting to hear it because I make people write how they feeling for the past week or that day, that Sunday, on an index card and put it in the reflection jar, but don't sign your name. So when I'm reading out these cards, these are people's feelings.
Yeah.
You know, and when somebody get to hear their feelings and then you start hearing perspectives, like I call them, like we're always looking for the trigger card. And when you hear the word trigger, you think from a negative connotation.
Right.
But in reality, the trigger card is the most important card in the room because that's the card that allows everybody in the room to start communicating and giving opinions. And you get to hear a perspective that maybe you didn't even have on yourself.
Yeah, that's real. And then so many other people hearing other people's feelings may have had the same feelings and don't even know how to express it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's beautiful, man. Just like where everything else is now is like, you know, we still kids at heart, but you know, our mentality and our mental is in a place of like, you know, bro, we want to be leaders. I ain't trying to be a kid no more. You know, it's like I want to lead correctly. If you come around me, I'm in leadership mode.
Yeah.
And I want other leaders around me. It's like, this is not the time where it's like it's one guy and then everybody else is flunkies. It's like, no, I want to encourage my people, like, no, you're a leader too. Let's all lead so that, oh, we can invest together, we can grow together, we can scale together.
Yeah. And from the beginning, you've always used your platform to put on, you know, for other artists, for other people, other creatives. I see we got Big Grams on the porch with you.
We got Big Grams. You know, Big Grams, you know, he been with me before this music stuff.
Absolutely.
You know, Graham is one of the best MCs in Atlanta, Georgia, period. If anybody want to test it out, you know, pull up. It'd be like that. And it's just the truth. Like, I've never lied. Like, you know, when it's all said and done, and I believe I live forever, I don't subscribe to death. But how have it work, if you ever really truly go and look at everything I've ever said in this industry, I never lied. I never, ever lied. Maybe I might not have been the right messenger for the statement or the things that I say, but hey, that's how God gave it to me, that's how I give it to the consumer, and that's why I have a cult following of people that's like, nah bro, I love you because you real in a fake ass world.
Yeah, no, for sure. Now, working at Ginza at the time and having so many connections, you know, with different artists and creatives in the city, at what point did you know that you wanted to, you know, also be a creative and that was, you know, your destiny?
Man, I was just trying shit, man. I wanted to own my own store. I got into music to own my own Ginza.
Right.
At first, when I was working at Ginza, the owner of Ginza, I did so well that he was getting ready to give me Ginza and open up another Ginza somewhere else. He was looking for different locations. He ended up having a son, and his mindset changed, and it kind of like became a thing where it's like, yeah, you can run this, but you'll end up working for my son. And that just didn't sit well with me. And I just started thinking of things of like, you know, what can I do that would garner me the money to have my own store? Like, yeah, I was trapping, but I wasn't Pablo Escobar. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was still figuring it out. I feel like I was getting ready to turn into one of the ones, but at the same time, I still was tapped in heavily with the sneakers. Now I'm selling real shoes, whatever, you know, and like that's doing really well. Like, Rest His Soul just passed away, man. We sold Young Scooter the Yeezy 2s.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that was so cool to me. I was like, oh man, we just sold Scooter some Yeezy. You know, he cashed out 4,000 cash, like, boom. Like, I was like, oh man, what? He can't get this, like, selling nicks and dimes, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can, but it takes forever. This one shot. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I've always been kind of like a step skipper when it comes to business, where it's like, man, let me get the big amount over there, because sometimes the breakdown trap just be like, I ain't for me, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would like to stay in a mode of like, really I'm better at management mode, and like, oh, y'all, if your breakdown trap is your thing, it's all right, cool, I'll put you in the breakdown spot or whatever, but I'm like lump sums of money. And, you know, those are the things that allowed me to get to a place of, I'm gonna do music. My partners, like I said, Graham was already smacking shit. We had other people in our crew that was doing music. My cousin Coop, Juke Spook, you know what I'm saying? That's literally 3 people. My boy Snake, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, like they were already doing music. I was even helping them behind the scenes. Like, I've been behind the scenes before I was even an artist myself. Like, just trying to help certain ones, like, you know, make sure the outfit is right, because I've always been a stylist. And then finally, in the midst of like, when certain things didn't go as planned, or when people don't step up to the plate, it puts a bad taste in my mouth. But then also, in certain cases, it makes me step up to the plate for them. And that's what I did. Like, when people dropped the ball on like recording or getting to the studio on time, that made me jump in there and get on the mic. And then I just found myself, man. And it turned into, you know, what we know as Trinidad Jame.
Word. Do you remember the first artist that you styled?
It might have been Ali from Travis Porter.
Okay.
Ali from Travis Porter, I think.
I remember going into Ginza before you were doing music, or at least before you were putting it out there that you were doing music, and just remembering you as like, I would refer to you as the Eclectic Cat over at Ginza.
But you know, bro down there at the store, bro, like, bro gonna put you on. Like, go talk to bro down there. He's different. You can tell. Like,
nah, because you would talk about the fashion, but then you would like also break down like, you know, spirituality and how conversations about manifestation and all of that. And it's like, all right, like, I came in this store to like see a fit, and like we done got into a 20-minute conversation about a bunch of other stuff. You know what I mean? So I think also, you know, you spoke to this earlier, where, you know, when you came out and All Gold Everything, you know, shot, you know, through the roof and, you know, put you in this certain position, but then when people meet you and see that like you're actually grounded, and that like, again, like you have substance to you, and that it's not like you weren't necessarily like pushing or looking for clout. You know what
Correct.
I'm saying? That just happened to be the outcome of
situation.
of the situation. I can remember DJ Dirt,
My boy, Jay Dirt.
Jay Dirt, yes sir. Shout out to Ballers Eve.
Ballers Eve.
But I was living in New York at the time, and I remember him bringing me a CD, and I'm like, wait, this homie from the store, like he rap, you know what I'm saying? And listening to it and being like, yo, like for sure we gonna support, you know what I mean? Like no doubt about it.
Nah, yeah, y'all did too, you know, and it mattered at the time, you know. It's like all of it is important in their journey to like establishing and stamping, like, oh no, this is a real artist.
Yeah, no,
you know,
for
and like you got to think about it from my standpoint, like I'm shouted from the stove, and so it's like I had to get my mindset of like, no, you're about to be a star. You're about to be a household name. You're about to be a global name. You're about to go on 2 tours with Wiz Khalifa. You're about to go around the world. You're about to meet all these people. You know, all these things, man. And it was a process. I went a lot of years, even that's kind of like the hidden message in My Biggest Hater, the single. I went a lot of years not believing I deserved the success that I received because I had so much doubt. And I worked a lot of years to destroy all the doubt. That's even where the idea of my dad's socks came from. His dad stands for destroying all doubt. And when I finally destroyed it to a certain extent, you know, it got me to that place where it's like, oh man, like I'm really now being the person that I need to be. And I understand, you know, what's the importance in my value.
Did that doubt come from the critics and, you know, the comments or things like that? Or was that something that was already embedded in you and that you needed to like work through?
Ain't nobody ever doubted me until I got into music. When I was in sports, when I was in the streets, like, ain't nobody ever doubted me. Like I was, you know, a version of that nigga.
Yeah.
You know, and then not even on like older riches, because I definitely wasn't that. Not the gangsters, because I definitely wasn't that. It was just, when you a real person, man or woman, it has value in that, especially in the street code, especially in the streets. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's solid. Like, I'm big on community. So that's why it's like, oh, we would have them 20-minute conversations when we come in, even though you're just coming to get a fit. Yeah. Or whatever, because like I like building with people and, you know, really getting into your cerebellum and your cerebral to like, you know, see where you at mentally type situation. But the doubters that came with music, that's what kind of made me doubt. Like it seeped into my feelings, and I was like, oh wow, like damn, am I tripping? How whatever, you know. But I never doubted myself getting into it because I did my homework, you know, like paying attention of what I want to do better. How can I do this better? Like that's what really mattered to me.
And at that time, during that time when you dropped, that was still at a time where you almost still needed like that validation from New York to, you know, to really
be stamped.
Yeah, to be stamped, like in hip hop and in the culture.
To matter, like
and all of that. Like,
and they stamped the hell out of me too.
Yeah, no, for
New York stamped the hell out of me. They stamped the hell out of me and taught me a good lesson about, once again, my big mouth. I heard Tupac say this before. He's like, you know, I got a big mouth, you know, and I mean, I do. But once again, I don't lie. You know, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. You know, and then the third part of that a lot of people don't say is when you choose to say it.
Yeah.
You know?
And when you shot the video for All Gold Everything, that in itself the video was so polarizing. I mean, you know, your look, the image, just the whole vibe of the video.
Right.
Who came up with the concepts? Like, how did that come about?
So, I mean, shout out to Motion Family who shot it.
Oh, yeah.
But that was my treatment, man. That was my idea. Like, that was my brother's trap. He used to trap out of over there on the south side, Arrowhead. All those people, not all those people, but a lot of those people in the video who were his people. And they just supported. You know, we threw a little party barbecue in the hood, the old schools. Shout out to my boy Simo. Shout out to my boy Zach. When I'm in the panda mask in the back of the black 442 or whatever, you know, it's my boy Zach car back in the day. And I pull up in the parking lot in that 72 Caprice, that teal thing. Has my boy Simo car. These are people that, you know, that believed in me. and you know, kind of like got around like, hey, bro, Shawty, you might be the one.
Yeah.
And supported me, and like, you know, we took that to the moon, man.
Right. Long live DJ Speaker Fox too.
Ooh, come on, man. Long live Speaker Fox.
She was in that video.
And my girl Aubrey, that's Speaker Fox's friend, but we all was tight.
Word. That's what's up. And did you expect for that song to, you know, go up the way that it did and to have the success that it did?
Nah, man, like, bro, we from the streets, bro. Don't nobody be. So much music is in the streets. You know, when I'm a logic person, so when I think success comes, I always thought success came to people who are like the best rappers. You know, but you know, the game changed where success came to the people that know how to work their song the best. And you know, that change is what made everybody have doubt. That change is what made everybody hate. That change is what, you know, put me in an interesting place, because it wasn't just the critics that affected the doubt that I told you about earlier. It was also people who I was close to that was treating me different. So I was like, damn, what the hell happened? Now you doubt me, now what the hell, like, well, you know me.
Yeah.
Like, you know, but people who I thought knew me, you know, changed when success came my way, when the money came my way, when the cameras came my way. And I had to really figure out how to get used to that, because I'm loyal to the people who I care about. And that really threw me off back in the day.
Now, the word viral wasn't really a common word then. I'd only heard it maybe once before your video dropped, and that was I was working at Def Jam and working on the Kanye My Dark Twisted Fantasy album. And we did a live stream where we showed that album cover, like the cartoon with the monster, like having sex with the girl, and she was naked or titties was showing. That was like the first time I heard.
And what clip was that again?
That was Kanye My Dark Twisted Fantasy album.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so when we did that,
that was 2012?
That was around 2011. That was like 2011.
Okay.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So that was around the first time that I kind of heard that term, but it was still new. But it really became prevalent when All Gold Everything dropped.
I made that term a term. Like, I was like, oh, he going viral. Like, mind you, people were going viral, but the term wasn't being used to virality. It was just a word that existed. So no, you're definitely right.
Yeah, no, for sure. Then you did, so from there, I mean, your life was in a whirlwind. What were some of the dopest experiences or some of the, you know, dopest memories from that song blowing up the way that it did, you know, to you know, signing a deal with Def Jam and all of that? Like, what can you remember, like, in that whirlwind of a time?
You know, one of my first show at Baron Tacos.
Oh yeah.
A3C, the Star Bar. You know how crazy we turned that up. And then MJQ, my first big show at MJQ, which was a movie. Literally, I was hanging from the roof. You know, literally, like, rappers couldn't get in. Like, it was like, bro, what is going on? Like, you know, I think Currency pulled up in a tour bus or whatever, like, to come see the show. You know, Santos Playhouse in New York.
Oh yeah.
You know, I mean, bro, I turned that upside down with the ASAP crew.
Yeah.
And it was just me, and it's all of them. You know, these are things I wasn't paying attention to. I was just grateful at the time, because once again, I went through a good bit of years of not feeling like I deserved, so I was just thankful. But when I look back at it, it was like, bro, I was going crazy. The 2 tours with Wiz, Under the Influence tour, you know, I crushed the first tour so much, and we gained a like, and he was like, yo, you want to come overseas with me? And, you know, boom, on my birthday, man, we in Paris for, you know, first day of tour, doing shows and stuff like that, and everybody in Paris singing happy birthday to me. You know, like, that was just special. I was fresh as hell, too. I had this, like, this silk Mickey Mouse jacket on, white, you know, the Balenciaga arenas, like, I was giving it to him.
Yeah.
What else? I mean, Supreme giving me free clothes to do the Jimmy Fallon show. I was like, bro, what in the hell? Like, what? Yeah, like, I'm in the factory. He like, pick what you want. What? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just crazy shit, man. Like, I don't know, man. It's been so many things, man. Like, even doing Jimmy Fallon with the Roots.
Yeah.
Or Kimmel, whoever does it with the Roots. You know, all that stuff will always be in my mind. Like I don't really think about it no more until somebody asks me, like you asking me right now. But those things, you know, stand out.
Yeah.
For sure.
How important is it for you now to reflect on those great things that you did back then, but then even now, more live in the moment and celebrate your wins?
Oh, well, those things, you know, help me to understand more. Like, I mean, mind you, the name of our mental health event is Reflection Sundaze. So reflecting is everything now. You know, reflecting is what allows you to be even better. But it does help me to appreciate, like, hey, these wins, like this plaque for my biggest hater, oh, we're gonna celebrate the hell out of it. Because we really, you know, we putting in the work. You know, and it's a great record. Like, you know, I never stopped being a part of the game. You know, a lot of people, they don't see me and they wonder, like, damn, what happened to Trinidad James? And like I said, the one-hit wonder concept that goes around what people think. It's like, bro, I've been in this game bringing value to it, being the mood board for people that you love, or writing stuff for them, songs that you love. I'm right there with you. I'm always with you. My phone, you know, my name. If you go and do a airdrop, and you like, you put on if I put on my airdrop, my name is Spiritual Dad. You know, it's like I'm everybody's, you know, mood board, spirit animal. You know, type situation, like because I'm always gonna do it my way, but my intentions is always in a place of value to, you know, and I don't have a problem being of service. Yeah. You know, that's why I started the agency 567, our creative agency. You know, the 5 stands for change, the 6 stands for love, the 7 stands for completion. You know, the idea is everybody got a step 1, they would like to go to 10, but you know, most entrepreneurs don't want to go through the process to get to the steps of success, which is the 5, 6, 7. Hey man, if you walked in these size 11s, you get to really understand the process, you know what I'm saying, and appreciate it.
Right. And through those years, you were behind the scenes, but you were writing for City Girls, Flo Milli, Queen Naija, Lakia, and then on the creative director side, I know you were working with Tay Money from Dallas, and then even most recently, what a lot of people now know, you were creative director for Sexyy Red.
Correct. So it's like, I'm right here, bro. I'm here. You know, the stuff that we did with Tay Money, that was a #3 song on Billboard from a TikTok. Like, bro, I'm right here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't going nowhere. It's just I've never been like you know, I got Graham with me right now. Like, one of the reasons why we align is we get shit done. We don't talk about it. You know, we action people. Like, that's what real men do. That's what leaders do. We don't, you know, unless you're a politician or the president, like, bro, we ain't got shit to talk about. We got work to do. Yeah. Because we know that it's a bigger level to get to, and it take work to get there. And people ain't really trying to help you the way you think.
Yeah, no, that's real. I've heard you in other interviews even mention, you know, that through your career, like you really didn't have like any big homies or any mentors, you know, to kind of help give you some guidance. And something that was interesting, bro, I interviewed Designer not too long ago. Right. And I was asking him some questions, and one of the answers to a question was, he was saying, like, I didn't have any mentors. I didn't have anybody to, you know, tell me to move this way, move that way, which is super important. Super important.
That's why everything that I do now behind the scenes for Sexyy or Money Long, Carolina, whoever, these are things nobody did for me. You know what I'm saying? And you know, and this is not like saying like, oh, T.I.G. didn't do anything. Like, man, come on, man, Fly changed my life.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Or whatever, but shit, bro, we were young, bro, we ain't know nothing.
Yeah, I mean,
when it comes to the level of success that I was getting ready to bring to Atlanta, to think it's a game, like that hadn't happened yet for me, for him, for us. For Atlanta, well, no, I can't say that for Atlanta because we have Outkast and everybody. So, but for us, referring to T.I.G. and myself,
and then the new age,
and then the new age and stuff like that. Everybody, I was getting ready to go mega crazy. Like you wouldn't know what to do. So, you know, everything that you saw me do my first 5 to 6 years of this is me just walking into a fire, hoping that I walk out. Yeah. But, you know, I didn't know what I was doing.
And this is something that I talk about, you know, online and have had debates with other people about, is how the OGs need to embrace, you know, like the younger artists and vice versa. The younger artists also need to embrace the OGs. I feel like we have like this ageism in hip hop where, you know, we look at, you know, some of the older artists and don't really show them respect because, you know, like for instance, like Jim Jones, I know I called you about him and we were, you know, talking about him and his impact and everything like that. You know, people call him the oldest YN or whatever you want to label him as, but it's like we need to have respect for our OGs and for the people that, you know, came before us because they can share game from the experience.
It go both ways though, man. The OGs got to understand to be better parents.
Yes.
Parents of the game.
Yes.
Like, you got a lot of OGs that's still on, not even YN shit, but it's like they're still pushing. Like, the interesting thing is that the urban chart, you know, top urban chart, you got a 40-year-old, a 30-year-old, a 20-year-old, and a teenager fighting for the #1 spot in real time. So it's almost like the mindset that the 30 and the 40-year-old have is, I ain't got no time to show you what's up, young nigga. Pay attention. However, because that's how things used to be back in the day. Your daddy won't tell you what to do, throw you in the water, you gotta learn how to swim. You can't expect every kid to be like that.
Right.
You know, like you gotta, to be a great parent, you have to pay attention to what type of child you have, not the type of child you want. It's two different fucking things.
Yeah.
And, you know, the more that OGs understand that they have to also have more grace and patience with the youth to, like, you know, take the initiative to pour into them and stop trying to compete. However, it's like that will help the YNs, the young people, to be like, oh damn, I want to have more respect for you, or whatever, because you coming at me so respectful. But a lot of times, or not, I ain't gonna say a lot of times, but at times, young people, the way they react now is based off of you triggering them. And if you come at them from like, oh, I'm competing with you compared to like, I'm trying to like really give you guidance or make it known that I'm trying to help you out, they ain't like how back in the day was like, shut up and listen. They fuck you, old nigga.
Right.
Period. You know, so I get it. Like, I'm at that really special place of, you know, I know to respect my OGs and I do, but I also don't play the radio with them. But then I understand the mindset of a young nigga, whatever, and I'm always take the lead to put them on game.
Yeah.
That's why kids come down to the store. Shit, I had a group of YNs. I thought they was gonna rob me. I was walking from the store the other day. And in reality, when one of them was like, bro, that's Trinidad Jame. Mind you, the whole time I'm just standing there like, I don't know what's happening, but hey, what's up, y'all? And basically, long story short, the same one who, you know, called on my name, you know, coming down to the store, and he was like, he was like, man, take my IG down, man, we all do music. I was like, okay, where y'all record at? You know what I'm saying? Boom, 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 boom. And I was like, man, well, shit, keep doing your thing or whatever, you know what I'm saying? What's your IG? Boom, boom, boom. Got his IG, came back down. He was like, man, look, man, I'm a manager, boom, boom. You know, I'm just trying to figure out, like, what do I need to do with my people to, you know, change our outcome, change our thing, our circumstances. And, you know, I gave him some good pointers. He left, he might have came back 4 hours later because I think he came like on the early part of Sunday or something like that. And then I was still at the store for Reflection Sundaze or something like that, or right before. Or nah, I lied. He came on Saturday. I gave him the knowledge. And then, boom, he came back on Sunday. Like, hey, bro, that shit worked. How whatever, boom, boom, boom. He was like, we had a headbutt or whatever in the room, but they get where I'm coming from, and now they're working towards making songs that add value to what they got and not what's happening trying to catch on.
Right.
You know, so once again, you have to take the lead. Like, even in the midst of me being a little stunned, or like, I don't know what's about to go down here, it was kind of more of like, well, whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen. But in reality, it's just kids, bro.
Yeah.
Like, if you say the wrong thing, they will go up through there on you.
Right.
But if you know, get rid of that scary shit and just lock in on being the man you need to be or the woman you need to be, then they'll fall in line. It's just, you ain't giving them to fall in line about, they're gonna go out of line. They're gonna cross the line.
Do you feel like the level of success that you may have reached so early may have put other people, maybe, you know, some of the OGs or other people in fear to share the knowledge, to give you the knowledge, just and not knowing like how you would take it or if you would even accept it?
Yeah, of course, because, you know, even with all this money that all these celebrities have, you know, the industry puts you in this survival crab in the bucket mindset. So it's a selfish mindset. You know, being an artist is the most selfish job you could ever do because it's the you show. Every artist is their own brand. And even when you die, you're still a brand. Like Bob Marley, you would think he's still alive.
Right.
The way that, you know what I'm saying, how big his family is, how well respected his name is, how much merch you see anywhere you go from California to London. And so, of course, change triggers people. But I am here to say to you that you don't have to be your ancestors. You don't have to be the generational curse. Or you don't have to be tradition. You can start a new tradition, especially if it benefits the future. Sometimes the past can be delusional because you keep making you think you need to chase the thing that's in the rafters when, dog, what matters is what's happening on the court right now. Fuck them damn old ass flags in the rafters, bro. Yeah. Don't nobody care about that shit that happened in 19 whenever the fuck. However, it don't hold no weight right now if you're not using it correctly to help what's happening right now.
Yeah. Yeah, like if you're still living off of
like expecting me
yesteryear.
to kiss your ass based on a thing in a rafter that had nothing. Like, come on, man, this kid was born in 2000.
Yeah.
They don't give a damn about that. He was born in 2010. Boy, they don't care about that as a 15-year-old. They don't care about that.
That's how I feel when, you know, people come into conversations like, yeah, man, you know, I helped build Rockefeller and I helped it. And it's like, I mean, that's great. That's amazing. But like, if you're not doing anything that's relevant to today, like talking about what you did yesteryear, like has no place here right now.
Like DGB is moving on what makes sense now, not what made sense then.
Right.
Like, nah.
Absolutely, absolutely. How did it feel when Mark Ronson, Bruno Mars used your line, you know, don't believe me, just watch, you know, and put that in their song and as big, how big that song, you know, became? How did that make you feel as an artist, like having somebody else interpolate, you know, like some of your rhymes or put that into their song?
Man, fuck Bruno Mars. Nah, just playing. Nah, man, when they first reached out, I was in a depressed mindset for like about 7 months, so I couldn't really grasp it. And then when the song came out, I was getting out of my depression, and I was like, oh, what the hell is the business on this? And they did good business, and a part of my, you know, deal that I did with them to have ownership of, you know, to not stop the record and, you know, allow it to go on to, you know, become what it is now, 11 times platinum. I wanted to do a session with both of them. And the session that I did with Bruno, it really truly helped me out to just be a better writer, and helped me to add on that to my repertoire, you know, 10 years ago when that was 2015 when we worked. Yeah. I waited on that nigga to pull up to write again. I don't know what he's scared of, man. You know what I'm saying? And like, shit, like, I can help you out, bro. That's what I do.
Word.
With Mark, our first session didn't go well, but that was because of me. My attitude wasn't in the right place. I was being selfish. Once again, the homie Drum, the artist, he was in the session too, and nobody had gave me a heads up that why is this other nigga in my session? Like, this is a part of my business deal for this record to work with them. But I couldn't see the bigger picture. Like, no, Drama's an amazing producer too, an amazing writer too, an amazing brother himself. I was just thinking of like, damn, Mark, what the fuck? But Mark is not like Bruno, they're two different men. And me and Bruno's session was so crazy. We did the Uptown Funk remix together, but before we even did the remix, started working on music, we had like a 2-hour conversation about life and him explaining to me just all type of stuff, why he even rock with me and all this type of things. And like the things that he studied from me, the things that he appreciates about me and all type of things. And then he showed me the importance of doing homework on yourself.
Word.
You know, especially when you got something like All Go Everything, which is a blueprint type of piece. And so, you know, the feelings had went all over, but overall, you know, shout out to Mark Ronson, like just the other day, he did a post. He's the one that paid for my 11 times platinum plaque.
Oh, word.
Yeah, he got it from me for my birthday. It took forever to come, where I was about to crash out on him. I would have got like, bro, why you playing with me for, bro? But you know, he held it down like a gentleman, and we made it happen. And I mean, it's a beautiful plaque. Like every time people see it in our spot in LA, it's just like, bro, what the hell? Because you're not used to. There's only so many. There's only 100 of them in the world. You know what I'm saying? Of things that went diamond.
Right.
And so it's just a blessing, man. And it's big respect. Like even him, he did a whole little to camera social media post about, you know, just giving me my flowers and things, you know, for it. And it's nothing but love, man.
And they performed that joint at the Super Bowl.
Come on, I mean, that was crazy, man. That was crazy. We won the Grammy, you know, from that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like my first Grammy came from that, and I got my second Grammy with what we did for Cali with the Barbie soundtrack.
Yeah, that's amazing. Again, you know, like from where you started to be able to say Grammy Award winning. I mean, that's
two-time Grammy Award winning artist, Trinidad Jame.
Put some respect on your name.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, man, you know, all everything double platinum. You know, August Alsina double platinum, Work remix triple platinum. You know, these are the type of things like people like for you to drop your nuts on them.
Yeah.
I realize that. Like some people they love that. It's like, bro, flex on me, bro, flex on me. You know, and it just is what it is. You know, and the humility in me, I feel like I'm flexing, not saying nothing, and making you have to find out the hard way. Like, boy, I will smoke you. You don't want nothing with me.
Yeah.
You know, that's why I'm still here.
No, for
you
real.
know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody writing my shit. You know what I'm saying?
And to that point, I've always respected, you know, your growth in the game, you know, from your first project, Don't Be Safe. I mean, I remember just a 10-piece mile. I remember like how much better you got on that.
The next year.
Yes.
The next goddamn year.
Absolutely.
Man, 10-piece mile was crazy. Like, to be the nigga that literally never did no music prior to 2012. Don't Be Safe in 2012. And then come back around after all these three back-to-back tours, my own, Wiz, and then come off of that tour and do 10-piece mile and orchestrate that type of people on these records. I was intentional, like Eastside, the last song on there with Gucci Man, Scooter, Alley Boy, and Childish goddamn Gambino. Like, bruh, niggas are not fucking with me.
You had a song produced by Young Chop on that album.
Come
that was so
on, bro,
cold
my
to
boy,
me.
I was just talking the other day, like it's love, you know what I'm saying? I got Fabo and Player Fly and Danny Brown. You know, the most trippiest niggas on the same record. Like, they be talking about 2013 here. You know, it's like a lot of things. You know, one of my bestest friends in music is my boy Young Fire. He's an amazing producer from Iowa. He came up in Atlanta some, and we in LA together going crazy in the Woodland Hills, baby, Woodland Hills. And you know, one of the things that we've been cursed with, but also blessed at the same time, is just being ahead of time. You know, being ahead of time. Females Welcome was the first sign of that, whereas like the radio wouldn't let that be my follow-up single because they couldn't understand the EDM second half of the song. But then the following year, Skrillex and Rocky, Steve Aoki and Waka Flocka. Like, nigga, this is what
Man, and you worked with so many artists, and so many artists show you respect. I mean, from what was it like working with Gucci and E40?
Nigga, well, in my mind, I was like, he better say Gucci Man first. Nigga, that was everything to me. Like, Gucci Man is in my top 5. You know what I'm saying? And he not 5. And it was, what was so amazing about it is like, everybody was trying to keep me away from him or whatever because he wanted to sign me too. And you know, Gucci a little scary, especially back then. And in my mind, I was just like, shit, bro, I'm with whatever. You know, boom, boom, boom. But, you know, me and Fly was doing business and, you know, I didn't want to bring no mess into the game. So boom, we did what we had to do. And then finally Gucci was like, man, I just want to work or whatever. And so, man, we pulled up the Patchwork Studios. I had that shit on. I had a black track suit, black and red track suit. His crazy Don C Falcons, snap with the snakeskin brim. And this nigga was so cool, man. It was almost like I wasn't even talking to Gucci, man. It was like I was talking to Mr. Davis. You know, and then he just loved me so much. He was just like, he the first person to tell me, he's like, bro, when you got the #1 spot, you can say anything you want. You know, you don't want to hear. I was writing my verse for the song we got called Guap. Like, man, get that shit out of here. Just say what you want to say. And so that's my first time even like freestyling the song off the top of my head, because Wap wouldn't let me write the song. He was like, bro, anything you say gonna be gold, or whatever. And like, he just taught me music confidence. Like the same confidence I had with the fashion. I was just so fresh, bro. Like, but that was just naturally me. He showed me. He was one of the first people to show me how to take that fashion confidence and put it into the music. And that's why he told me to put the pen and pad down. Like, but just say who you are. Just spit that shit.
Yeah.
And you know, we did Guap.
Just put those direct emotions.
Yeah, just say how
there.
you feel. You guys gonna be all right. You the #1 spot. Anything you say right now is gonna be the thing. Yeah. You know?
Word.
So shout out to Wap, man. That was everything to me. Meeting Jay-Z, everything. That's in my top 5 too. Everything. You know, everything. Andre 2000, everything.
Yeah.
That's my top 3 right there. You know, that was everything. Like, I've met my top 5. I've met my top 10. I've met so many people, and like, you know, it's been love, but my top 3 poured into me the way that I really needed, and that kind of like gave me the cement for my foundation. And I've just been rocking ever since.
That's what's up, bro. What would you say is one of the biggest life lessons that you've learned?
To get to a place, fight for your life, to get to a place where you can go off of executing off your gut compared to thinking on your gut. Just execute. If your gut, when you really line your life up the right way, go with your gut, man.
That's real. That discernment is everything.
That's my word of the year.
Yeah.
Discernment. That's my word.
And study long, study wrong.
Come on, all that. You know the vibes.
Yeah, no, for sure. And you also, I don't even want to say dabble. Like you joined the media side of things as well.
Oh hell yeah! I did
with your
3
song-
years with Complex Bitch Ass.
Yeah, man, with full
Hell
size.
yeah,
Ronson.
hell yeah, man. You know, we took that show from, you know, it was not getting the love that it deserved, and boom, we took it out. Shout out to my boy Brendan Dunn. Shout out to my boy Matt Welty. Shout out to Joe LaPuma. You know, shout out to my boy Gerald. You know, all these people that poured into me. Shout out to the crew, man. Like, a lot of people never shout out the crew, but you don't have a good show if you don't have somebody shooting it, somebody running sound. Like, shout out to everybody, man. We built a little unit there. It was different for them working with, like, a celebrity, but I'm in their world now.
Right.
And that's what I wanted. I wanted to learn the behind the scenes of media, because I felt like media just had me fucked up. You know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, y'all don't get me. Y'all don't understand me, man. Like, why? Why? Compared to me feeling the type of way about it, I'm a solution-based person. I don't dwell on the problem. I solve the problem. I figure it out. And, you know, went and did 3 years over there, and we took that from, it wasn't in the last spot or last place, but wherever it wasn't in first. And, you know, after a while, we were like, bro, we was the #1, #2 sneaker show between us and Joe LaPuma with sneaker shopping. And all the other shows disappeared, and we were the ones that remained. And then finally I retired it at the end of 23, because I wanted to focus heavier on my 5, 6, 7 side, and, you know, now essentially focus on me.
Right. And with podcasting now being a part of the new media, could you see yourself jumping into that side of things and you know, having your own podcast, you know, sharing
Oh yeah, I mean, when I
stories
do
and things
my own sneaker show next, I'm gonna shut it down. You know what I'm saying? But you know what, and I'm gonna say it here, because, you know, you good people. Like, you know, when I'm gonna fuck their ass up with is when I do radio. When I get into radio, whatever, like, I'm gonna have a morning show that's just gonna smoke.
Word.
I feel like I'm gonna really show out. Like, I'm on this crazy press run right now for my biggest hater, and it's just been so fun, because my knowledge, I encourage any young artists right now, man, like, go for the knowledge, fuck that cool shit. Give some balance to get the knowledge, so that as you keep progressing, success, failure, keep coming your way. When you finally get to a place of balance, you'll be able to attack anything at such a high level. Like, man, I'm smoking these radio stations right now because I just understand what to do. And I'm like, man, my voice, morning radio or a night show, one of the two, but I'd rather do morning radio. because it's just a bigger challenge. You got to get up early. You got to be on point. You know, yeah, man. Don't be surprised if I end up being a highly syndicated show.
Hey, that's what's up. That's what's up, man. And how did you connect with Morris Day for the song Head Rush? The legend.
Bro, I can't make this shit up, man. My career is one of those ones that, man, like the movie about it, the documentary about it, just gonna be very entertaining. I hope the right person direct it. Shout out to my boy JR. I know he definitely gonna be a part of the producing of it because he's been shooting a lot of content. My boy JB too, Halo. They got those two people got most of the content that I have.
Halo
and my boy
super
Mike Marasco.
creative.
Yeah, for sure. And my boy Mike Marasco. He reached out to me, bro.
Wow.
I couldn't make this shit up, bro. I'm a huge fan too. I couldn't believe it.
Come on,
I like Morris
Day
Day more than Prince. I like Morris Day more than
What?
Prince. I like Morris Day more than Prince, bro. Just because I like the anti-person. I like the person that like
go against the grain.
you try and treat me like an underdog when it's like, bro, I'm that nigga too, bro.
Yeah.
I'm that nigga too, bro. Like you that nigga, but I'm that nigga too, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
That's
for
real.
sure.
And Morris Day always exuded that confidence.
Yeah,
like you
bro,
said.
like, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? That's why Prince and him, it was love and respect, but they also butt heads.
Right.
Because it's just like, bro, nah, bro, I ain't your shadow. I'll open for you, but I ain't your shadow. But he reached out to me, bro, and I couldn't believe it. And hell yeah, I showed out for the OG, and he helped me get back on Jimmy Kimmel. We did Jimmy Kimmel together in the pandemic. Like, boy, stop playing.
Yeah, nah,
Stop playing.
That's crazy. Trinidad, what's been one of the most fulfilling parts of your career thus far?
I know one off the top of my head is we did over our entire school's uniform with my homework brand. Being able to afford to do that, execute it and do it. It was like 212 students. It's a black-owned school called Creed Academy in Crenshaw in LA. For underprivileged children that come from like underprivileged families or homeless. And you know, mind you, I got a lot of plaques and all the shit I named, but bro, something about that just felt crazy, bro. Like, what? I just did a school uniform? Like, that was crazy, bro, because the kids was happy, they was looking fly. And you know, being fly is like my first brand. Like being fly is the first thing that I am. And then everything else fall in line. So to be able to kind of instill that with the kids, you know, doing my first sneaker, it doing well, that was really, really cool. I mean, just knowing that Jay-Z, Gucci Man, and Andre 3000 fuck with me. Like, we'll catch up like we never left off if we was to start talking right now. That's cool as fuck to me. You know, even Beyonce, like the respect that Beyonce has for me, is like, bro, like, I don't need the critics. The naysayers, bro, it don't really matter no more. Like, bro, this is year 13. Like, I know what I be doing behind the scenes. They're gonna see what I'm doing in front of the camera now because like Trinidad Jame's back outside. But you know, to answer your question, I would say, man, the school uniform was crazy, man. School uniform, the rodeo with Bun B. Jesus Christ, bro, 74,000 people. Me and Bun B singing backgrounds for me. I'm like, oh my God, I'll go everything. Like, man, get out my face, boy. Get out my face, bro. Like, what? Like, come on, man. Like,
it's like you completing stuff that you wouldn't even know is a bucket list for you.
Yeah, bro. Like, this is my GTA. I'm on missions. Like, oh shit, I'm on a side mission. That's a great mission. Like, what the hell?
And also, speaking of your brand homework, I know you have a shoe collab with Saucony.
Yeah.
And something that I really appreciated was the sneaker that you released, which was a tribute to women's basketball.
Amen. I got on my ATL, Bud ATL. Shout out to Bud ATL too, man.
Yeah, for sure.
This is our A-Town 4-day Adidas shell toes. You already know. All day I dream of sex, you know. Shout out to them. But yeah, man, Saucony, first of all, shout out to them for giving me a chance to start my sneaker design resume. But our last sneaker, we did 6 shoes with them, and our last one is our basketball sneaker, my first basketball sneaker. And I knew that Saucony was more of a walking and running company, so it was only I found out it was only so much that they could really invest in like marketing for basketball. But I was like, hey, well, shit, we in it now, so, you know, fuck it. And so I was like, you know what, if it's gonna be limited, let me make it special. Let me make it impactful. And, you know, we dedicated to women's basketball and our muse that we used for part of it was a lady named Lucia Harris, and for anybody that doesn't know, she's the godmother of basketball. In 1976, the first baskets ever scored in the Women's Olympics was scored by Lucia Harris. She's a black woman from Mississippi. She went to Delta State University. She also was the only woman to ever get drafted by the NBA. She did end up not playing because she suffered from bad depression, and she also went through the shit that I went through, whereas you feel like you don't deserve. That is a thing that's why I got this mental health event, Reflection Sundaze, because a lot of people feel like they don't deserve.
For sure.
And we got to eliminate, you have to destroy all the doubt. Real dad shit.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So
absolutely.
definitely, we still got pairs down at the store. Come on down to the underground and shop with me. You know, I'm back trapping in the underground, man,
Right.
but it's just like what I'm trapping is my own product. You know, we carry other brands. Shout out to RGB, my boy Twan, that's from Atlanta. We carry a brand called 4AM. They go to SCAD University. Like I just met one of the professors for the sneaker design class at SCAD University, and we gonna build. Like I really want to tap into HBCUs. I want to do an HBCU tour at this summer as I blow this record up. And just really tap in with the city, man. MARTA, Atlanta United, like it's just we lit, man. But yes, to answer your question, Lucia Harris, our spot built high. Even our low top, we have a low top too that's dedicated to Margaret Wade. She was one of the first women to ever win 3 national championships in a row. She was Lucia's coach at Delta State University.
Right. And speaking on, you know, what you were saying about just, you know, being depressed and not, you know, feeling like you deserve, you know, like some of the things you've gotten. That has been something that I've battled for a long time. Maybe not the depression side of it, but on the side of, you know, I've always been super behind the scenes, don't really want people to know who I am.
Yeah.
And a part of that was, you know, I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 22nd and Townsend, and I've done some amazing things in life and have impacted, you know, a lot of people from working at labels or you know, doing this within BGB. But then I always felt like Dolph, you know what I mean? Working with Future, working with Snoop, a lot of different artists that I've, you know, Big Sean, a lot of artists that I've had great impact with and on. But I always felt like, man, I'm just from Milwaukee, man. Like why would I put myself
Destroy that shit!
Yeah.
Destroy that shit, bro.
Yeah.
Destroy that shit, man.
I've learned that, absolutely.
Destroy that shit. If this shit is happening, bro, I don't subscribe to luck. Luck is something that happens truly. Like the luck that you want is the luck that happens when you're on your shit. And then like other side missions come and bless you more.
Yeah.
If you're not on your shit, then you're depending on something lucky to happen.
Yep. Yeah. I thank God for therapy. It helped me to push through that and get out of that mindset. You know?
Amen.
2 more questions I want to ask you, bro. One of them being, with you being, you know, so deep into the fashion world, and we're hearing all of this talk about these tariffs and things like that, and we know that a majority of our clothes actually come from China.
Yep.
How do you feel like that's going to impact the fashion industry?
Oh, a lot. I mean, shit already hides giraffe pussy anyway. But, you know, it's one of those things that I pray that people could just understand that it's like the pandemic where it's not just happening to you, it's happening to everybody. So prices got to go up. Prices got to go up. So our prices got to go up. And we got pretty good prices now. Honestly, people love our prices. But they're going to have to go up because I'm not finna fight with Big T, Trump. You know what I'm saying? Whatever Big T say, hey, we voted for the nigga. Shit. You know, when in Rome, we do as the Romans, baby. Yeah. So, you know, it's unfortunate because people already don't have money like it is. Inflation is already a thing, but what you gonna do?
Trinidad, what are some things that you're excited about that you got coming up and that you're looking forward to?
Birthday bash. Just to, you know, put it out there. But, you know, really, man, the finish line that I'm trying to take things to with my biggest hater. The music that I've been holding on to that wasn't dropping for these last 3.5 years as I was building my creative agency. I mean, it's some things in there that's just like, hey, bro, fuck with me. Yeah. You know, just the store, you know, we're going to also jump over into the food world too and do a piece of business. Oh, okay. You know, my boy Graham, myself, we got some other partners involved. But just really, you know, hit their ass with businesses, man, and see, you know, what can we turn into a franchise. Yeah. You know, so that people can eat. And people, not just our people, but people. Yeah. You know, but I'm going to start it with our people.
Right. Absolutely. Man, Trinidad, appreciate you pulling up on us, bro. You got any shout outs you want to give before you get out of here?
Man, RP my boy Breezy. He would have loved to be in here right now. I just know it. He would have loved to be in here right now. Shout out to my boy Coop. Shout out to my boy Stank Doodoo Jig. Shout out to my boy Jig Nice. Shout out to King Midas and Matt Busco. I think that's it, man. You know, shout out to everybody that is supporting my new record, but shout out to the people that's truly held me down over these last 13 years, because it definitely hasn't been an easy one, but it's definitely been a valuable one. Yeah. And you know, the people that come up to me at the most random times and be like, bruh, I've been fucking with you, this, da-da-da-da-da, bro, you mean the world to me, real talk.
All right, that's what's up, man. And this full circle moment, you coming back around and releasing this single on TIG.
Come on, man, yeah. Come on. To look at the bottom of that, my Apple Music had that single and it say, "Think it's a game," all caps. You know what the fuck going on, man?
That's real history right there. Shout out to Fly. Yes, sir. Well, appreciate you, bro. Pulling up, jumping off the porch with us, man. Appreciate your time, bro.
For sure. We jumping off the porch, man. My boy Big Grounds. Check out Joyland. We got Joyland out right now. Follow Big Grounds. I am Big Grounds. IAMBIGGRANDS.